Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Bobby J on 30A. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your host, Bobby Johnson. Hello, sir.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, man. You're looking good today.
Man, I don't know about that. Thank you, though. So are you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
We're just talking about 51. I'm 51, and I feel it a little bit sometimes. But, hey, I'm going to rock it till I'm 70 or 80. We'll see, man.
Yeah, man. Rock that.
Hair's a little messed up, so I got my local 30A local hat on.
It's a cool hat, too. Like that hat. That hat trends you down to like in your 40s at least.
Do you want one?
Oh yeah, man. Come on.
I'll mail you a hat.
I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll mail anyone that replies on Facebook here. I'll mail them a hat. How's that?
Oh, that's awesome.
So you mail with your address, unless this thing goes viral and we run out of hats. I'll mail hats until we run out of hats. How about that?
That's incredible. I love it. Yes. Sign me up. I want a hat. So you guys heard it here first. So Bobby, we're doing some good stuff today. We're kind of spreading the love in the community of 30A with focusing on 5 local awesome restaurants that everybody should know about. So I like this for the show, by the way. I'm excited to see in the future episodes, like who else can we promote? Who else can we spotlight? So it's just good vibes.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot to talk about today, and I'm excited as well. I think we haven't done this yet, and you know, the thing is though, there's so many wonderful restaurants along 30A. So, you know, we narrowed it down really quick, and almost like there's a lot of great realtors out there. There's a lot of great caterers. So I'm just thinking of I just thought of 5 that came to mind right away that I frequent a lot. And we'll go from there, man. We'll count them down. We got 5, right?
Yeah, 5. And then I would say this too, for those of you listening, in the comments, like throw in, like if we don't mention one of your favorite restaurants, like throw it in the comments, because we'd love to see what else should we know? Or maybe you'll put something in there we know. We're like, oh, that's right. Those guys are awesome. So
that's right.
Yeah, play along.
This is going to be great for people that don't live here as well. So a lot of times
I think so.
These restaurants they're kind of tucked away. We won't spend a lot of time on each of them, but We'll get a little touch of them. We'll start
with the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll start on the west end of 30A, and there's a little place. You're going to love this. It's called Stinkys.
I love it.
I know. Right. And I think if you're bold enough to call yourself Stinkys, you've got to be good. You know what I mean? And it is excellent.
Awesome.
I've never really had a bad meal there. You know, it's got little New Orleans flair to it. The owners are friends of mine. And you know, they've got a bartender there named Kelly Carr, who is this real quiet, introverted friend of mine who is like a legend in his own mind. He not in his own mind. He is kind of a local legend, and he's super grumpy.
Yeah.
And, the funny thing, we'll get off this. He comes to my house every Thursday and he eats all my cookies. So he's actually called the Cookie Monster. Anybody that knows Kelly Carr, make sure you talk to him about eating. He owes me a lot of cookies, but Stinkys is top notch. It's on the west end of 30A in what we call like the Dune Allen area. And really, they also own another restaurant, which is excellent, called Trebuchet. And that's in the actual Blue Mountain area. But today we're talking about Stinkys. And then what we'll do is we'll drive down visually down 30A.
Yeah, I like this. I like it. Yeah.
The next restaurant, which would put you into what I say Grayton Beach, which is where my office is at, right in the heart of Grayton. Okay. We're actually like north of 30A, which is we're on Clayton Drive. And the next restaurant is kind of tucked away, and it's this little restaurant. It's called Black Bear Bread. And the owner's a friend of mine as well, Dave Rajkov, Phil McDonald. And they're just these great restaurateurs. He owns another restaurant I'm going to talk about, Dave does. And whatever this guy touches turns to gold, okay? It's called Black Bear Bread. It's up here in the middle of kind of nowhere. And nobody would ever assume that it would be a successful restaurant. And what I thought, well, he's lost his mind or something. Obviously it's a place to get great bakeries and coffee, and they do lunches, and it's just really good. And you know, you go in there, the service is excellent. They get you in and out of there. Great place for a little coffee in the morning, a little biscuit, or
I love those.
They do like avocado toast.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it is to die for. Place they just hit a home run. And now when you go in there, the place is just constantly packed out.
Yeah. That's awesome. That sounds awesome. What else?
One thing real quick about Stinkys that I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but they also, they have oysters there, and I'm a big oyster guy, but they, and they shuck them in front of you, which I think is a big deal. Do you eat oysters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love them.
Okay. So you always want to make sure the dude shucking them is doing them, laying them out in front of you. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. You don't want them pre-shucked. I always ask right away, do you pre-shuck? If you pre-shuck, you don't want them, you know. We're an oyster family, so
nice.
Yeah,
gotta respect the oyster. I like it. Okay, take me to number 3.
All right, so we're in Grayton still. There's an iconic restaurant called the Red Bar, and the Red Bar has been there. I think I want to say since the early '90s, maybe mid '90s. This place is just, I mean, how can I even describe it? Loud music, posters, old. It was an old grocery store when I was a kid. Okay. It's in the heart of Grayton Beach. It's near the beach.
Yeah.
It was actually, as a kid, when I worked there, it was called Paradise Cafe. And it was, when we grew up, it was this building and we didn't have air conditioning. We're serving $30 entrees in the 80s. You know, I was making more money than my school teacher. I mean, in the 80s. It was insane.
Wow.
High gourmet meals, high-end meals, year long in advance to get in the place. No air conditioning.
Really?
Literally. I would walk up to people and like put wet towels on their back to cool them off. Or knock a cockroach off their back as I was.
Nice.
But nice. It was then it turned into this place. It was kind of a series of restaurants after that, right? Nothing really worked. And this guy named Ali comes in and opens up this place called the Red Bar. Okay. And it's a very simple menu. It comes on a blackboard, right?
Yep.
Like 7 things. And he's just really good at those things. And this place is loud, and it's almost like decored from the 70s with posters just filled. Like you'd walk in there and you go, what is this?
Wow.
But he is nailed it, and it's always full and excellent.
I feel like I'm getting a history lesson here too. I'm not just getting like the goods on where to eat, but I'm getting the history lesson. I love it.
Yeah. And so going down 38, then, you know, he's going to land in another restaurant owned by Dave Rochcobb, would be Bun Alleys. And Bun Alleys is in Seaside, Florida, which is, always a running joke about Bun Alleys is it's part of your iconic tour of, if you've lived here a long time, you've worked at Bun Alleys.
Okay.
You know, like I worked there. I mean, I worked for Dave a long time ago. I was a bartender back when I remember I told you I used to shuck oysters.
Yeah.
This was where, and he's an excellent restaurant guy. It's probably one of the only restaurants, well, one of 2 or 3 on 30A that's actually on the beach.
Okay. Oh yeah. So, nice.
Yeah. You can go up and do happy hour upstairs. They ring a bell at sunset. Excellent. Awesome. You know, he's won a Golden Spoon Award multiple times. Excellent restaurateur. You know, like I said, part of the vision of living here is you have to work there at one point. So if you ever move here, you got to work there.
Yeah. I'll do some dishes for a shift or 2. How about that? Nice.
Gosh, going down 38 again, like I said, there's so many restaurants, but one that comes to mind, I guess I think when you start talking about history, now I'm kind of leaning in that direction. So
yeah.
Can't leave out the Seagrove Village Market. It's owned by the Hartleys. And when I was a kid, the Seagrove Village Market was owned by the McGee family, which developed Seagrove Beach.
Wow.
And the Hartleys came along after a series of owners, and they've owned it. Matter of fact, they've since tore down the old building and rebuilt the same building like a block away. And which made us all very nervous because they make a grouper sandwich there that is to die for, right? And you worry that, Chris, you're like, that stuff's going to get lost, right? And they didn't. I was in there the other day. Awesome. They still nailed the food. They've got a better system going through the place. But as a kid, I actually worked there too. I forgot about that. I was actually, gosh, we used to work in the grocery store, running groceries. So, and they've tore down the building. It's now a block away from there. Grouper sandwich, you know, good. And they use real grouper, which is a big thing down here. I don't know if are you familiar with grouper?
I'm kind of a Northwest guy, so not a lot of grouper up here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Kind of,
excellent. It's like
salmon town, halibut town.
Giant fish with big fillets on, big fillet of meat. Very, very good. And you can tell they get a good quality fish in. So, yeah.
It's what I'm loving about this conversation is, I mean, obviously you're a real estate guy, real estate broker. You've been in business for years, have your own company. And the thing I love about it is, the sense of the community, like for a company to rebuild the building and preserve the grouper sandwich, right? Like that there's this a sense of like, it's not just all commercialized. It has a sense of itself. And I think sometimes when people want to live the life by a beach, like you want the personality to come with it, I think.
Totally. Yeah. And they captured that, one of the biggest things is, funny story, I guess that reminded me of it. I was in Puerto Rico one time and I was surfing this place called the Wilderness, right? Which is Puerto Rico. There's parts of it that remind me of 30A a little bit, and I'm out in the middle of this place called the Wilderness and I'm starving, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And I look over and I see this truck, this minivan, and smoke's billowing out of the back of it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Right.
Yeah.
I walk up and there's a big Rastafarian dude. And he's got these real little chicken things going and bottled water, like $2 for a strip of chicken, little strip of chicken and a bottle of water. And, I'm thinking to myself out loud, my entrepreneurial brain goes, man, I could move down here and like do hamburgers and pork chops on a stick or something like that. And he looks at me, this big old dude, and he's like, no, you can't. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. So I guess if that ties into like here, when somebody takes something over, they've got to kind of follow behind the footsteps of what was there. Right. Basically this guy was telling me, you're not coming to the Wilderness and cooking, not me, so, and with 30A, you kind of worry about that sometimes when someone takes over an iconic business. Are they going to be able to offer it at that level? That's the last person performed at, and the Hartleys were able to do that.
I think that's what's cool. Like I know you have in your tagline of, if you will, in your real estate stuff that, you're a local realtor, like you're a local guy. I think I like that. It's cool because that's part of what preserves that culture is when locals know what's here. There's a particular culture that gets preserved, I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, we got a bonus in here, right? I think we've gone through 5, but we've got a bonus.
Yeah, the good friend of mine owns a health food store here locally, and it's For the Health of It. I've always, you can go in there, and he's doing some package stuff now, so you can swing by right there. Also, while we're there, we would, there's a little bakery called Loba's, I guess, while we're right there, and you can grab the bakery does some little turkey wraps, organic turkey wraps, or a thing of beans with greens on top of it. Yeah. But the health food store has been there, I think since early 90s. And this was a guy and his wife that started organic food, if you can imagine.
It's early.
Like everyone was thinking that there would be no organic food. Like, what in the world is that, right? And we thought he was crazy. We really did. We thought that he had lost his mind. I mean, and it turns out, man, he was kind of ahead of his time.
Ahead of the curve, yeah. That's awesome.
And so if you go in this place, and it's probably 1,500, 2,000 square feet, and it's, stocked and loaded. I mean, he's got it figured out, as big as the one you'd go to at Whole Foods or something like that. It's that level. Condensed into 50. They do massage there as well, and it's just, but it's also like kind of stepping back in time a little bit. Like it's this perfect little store, and it's on the south of 30A in Blue Mountain, and I've been going there for 20 years.
What's it called?
For the Health of It.
For the Health of It.
Yeah,
nice.
For the Health of It. Yeah, For the Health of It. So they run a good business there, and a bike stop next door, which is a whole nother, we'll save that for another day.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I love this, that we get to do a show where we get to give back to the community and kind of highlight special businesses. And again, I would say for those of you listening, if you have, it doesn't have to be a restaurant, but if you have other businesses that you think are awesome and cool businesses, like hit us up in the comments, tag them in the comments, let them know that you mentioned them in the comments. Like that's awesome. Yeah.
Put your address below and I'll mail you a hat.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that could be a problem. I mean,
I know, right?
Yeah.
You guys get private messaged Bobby with your address. And
that's true. Yeah, I guess they wouldn't want to put it on below. Some people don't care.
Some people.
I'm one of those guys that's like, be careful with your social security number. I'm like, you can have it, man. I'll give it to you online live. I don't care.
Yeah,
steal my identity, and maybe you'll do better with it than I did.
Right there, you go. I love it. This is good stuff, Bobby. Hey, I know sometimes you like to end episodes with any real estate stuff. Any real estate stuff you want to share this week?
I do. I will tell you. I've got a bunch of new listings. So the market is really on fire.
Wow.
I don't want to highlight one today. I think I'm going to save those. I'm going to pull it all in and not highlight one today. If that's all right with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I may tag one down below. I've got so many coming online right now and I had been traveling. And so I'm actually thrown in a corner in my office right now trying to just plug on a show today. So I didn't get a chance to prep.
I like it. Well, it sounds like with the turn of a new year, there's a lot of activity. People are thinking about the market. So if you guys listening to this are thinking about doing something in real estate, selling, buying, whatever, I know you guys can reach out to Bobby. Bobby, where can people reach out to you?
Sure. My phone number is 850-865-7798. You can call me, text me, whatever, or my email or my website, www.30alocalrealestate.com, and you can check me out there.
Perfect. Awesome. Good stuff today. Thanks I know you have a ton on your plate, so I'm glad you rallied and we got to share some love out with the community, and I'm looking forward to our next episode. So until then, thanks, Bobby.
Hey, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya.